destroyed so much of our community, and yet we came together and we built a park. My name is Beatriz Zamora Aguilar. I am currently writing a children's book. It's a children's book that tells the story of Chicano Park. And the story of Chicano Park, I believe, is important for young people to understand that we live in a country where speaking your voice, the right to peaceably assemble is important. Those are important rights. And here's a community that stood up and said, that's enough. You know, you built a freeway, you built a Coronado Bridge, you destroyed so much of our community, houses were destroyed, people had to move, and yet we came together and we built a park. And this park is now an internationally acclaimed park. And it has murals that are now part of the National Historic Landmark for the United States. And so this park that came out of social justice movements, that came from poor people who just came together and said, no, our kids deserve a park. We're going to build this park if we have to do it ourselves, is now going to celebrate its 50th anniversary. And I think that's amazing. And the art that's been created is very similar to the greatness of the art and murals of Mexico City. It's world renowned. The movements that have been stimulated by this park are also amazing. You know, the Danza Azteca, Chichimeca is part of that, Ballet Folklorico, the musicians, the lowriders, the brown berets that come together because they really originally came together to fight the injustices of, you know, lack of education and all these other resources that we as a community needed. It gave a voice to a community. And so to me, it's really, really important to document that and to help children understand that the land is important, that we need to take care of the land, and that Chicano Park is important, and that their voice is important. And so I'm thrilled. It's exciting for me to see it come to life, and I hope that children will enjoy it and that it will make a difference in the long run.
Like a little piece of land that the Chicano community of Logan Heights wanted to make into a park. A park where all the chavalitos could come and play in, so they wouldn't have to play in the street and get run over by a car. A park where all the viejitos could come in the tarde and just sit down and watch the sun go down. A park where all the familias could come and just get together on a Sunday afternoon and celebrate the spirit of life itself. But the city of San Diego said, chale, we're gonna make a highway patrol substation here. So on April the 22nd, 1970, La Raza of Logan Heights and other Chicano communities got together and they walked on the land and they took it over with their picks and their shovels and they began to build their own park. And today, almost 20 years later, that little piece of land under the Coronado Bridge in San Diego is known to people everywhere as Chicano Park. Órale, raza, vamos al parque. Yeah. It began in 1970 under the Coronado Bridge en mi barrio in San Diego, where my people began to fight for Chicano Park. Chicano Park.
He crossed the border at age 15 and worked as an undocumented worker in construction. He lived and worked in the San Diego area for 27 years, married, and had 5 children. In May of 2010, he lost his drywall job and attempted to steal a steak and tequila from a grocery store. He was caught and turned over to the Border Patrol, and they deported him. After a few days, he tried to return to his family but was caught trying to cross in a rural area, se dice por el cerro. The Border Patrol processed him and drove him to the border to release him back to Mexico, but when the agents took off his handcuffs, he tried to escape. There was a brief scuffle, and then agents tased him several times and began beating him with batons. More agents arrived quickly and joined in the beating, about 15 total. He stopped resisting and yelled for help, but they kept on beating him as he was face down, handcuffed, until he passed out. An ambulance took him to the hospital where he died 2 days later. Even though the agents tried to destroy all the photos and video taken by witnesses, 2 videotapes of the incident were released on social media. After waiting 5 years, the family finally received the report of the investigation. All the agents were cleared for their actions. This angered the community so much that they began to protest. His murder galvanized the community, so the mural is dedicated to him, but it represents all the migrants killed by the Border Patrol. A documentary was produced about his death by PBS entitled Crossing the Line at the Border. Just from 2010 to 2016, there were 50 more deaths at the border. Since no agents were found guilty, the family filed a civil suit against the government for torture, excessive use of force, etc. The government lost the case and had to pay the family $1 million, 25% of which went to pay the lawyers who helped them.
We're now on the second level of the Anastasio Hernandez Rojas mural here at Chicano Park. We have a great team of artists working with us. What I'm working on right now is a representation of Jacqueline Joaquin Powell, who was one of the first children that got press coverage, one of the first children that died while in custody of the immigration border guards. She died of a septic infection and dehydration from lack of hydration. Didn't attend to her father's complaints about her illness, and she was essentially let to die, as has happened to too many children.
Say hello.
Hello!
Tell them your name.
This is Graham here. He's been working on the mural now for a year. From the very beginning. Yeah, designing, working on it every single week. So there you go. There's the famous Graham Pinosi. Thank you, Graham. Tour now of the Anastasio mural, and Victor Ochoa is here, and Edmus Dusol. We're painting the children. We're continuing painting the children of Maria and Anastasio. And we're discussing making the wings a little bit bigger, right? Profit? Yeah.
Yeah, because we did a lot of changes with it. We put the emphasis back on Anastasio as far as this altar direction, and so the angel turned to the Anastasio side. And I think it will be a little different. And right now we're looking at the space and this heavenly part. The heavenly part's not going to be there. More laser light afterglow.
Yes. It'll be the rays of the eclipse are going to be coming down on kind of extending out.
The other day I was